good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. You're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good, and you found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously, conscientiously to Ion Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. The ambassador of joy. And that's what this show is all about, because we are talking about one of the most interesting, dynamic, explosive, in a good, positive way, places on the planet. It's called Las Vegas. Now, I got to tell you something. I am privileged to speak to people all over the world, by the millions on the internet, and in person also by the many thousands. Whenever I mention two words, people always lean in, open up their ear and say, tell me more. Las Vegas, because this is a city of energy, not just gambling, not just sex, which is good in itself, okay? It's a city of energy, of people that are coming here and doing things. I'm going to tell you two quick facts, and you're going to bring on, you're going to meet an amazing guy named Bulanti. We'll find out what his real name is, but you're going to meet Vinny and Bulanti. Let me tell you something about this place, Las Vegas. If you take the entire population of New York City and everything around it, the entire population of Chicago and everybody around it, the entire population of Los Angeles, everybody around it, add them all together, it doesn't come to the number of people that come to Las Vegas in a year. 41 million people come here. You know why? Because it's a place that's happening. And talk about happening. We got one of the most happening people you'll ever get a chance to meet. And his name is wonderful Michael Bulanti. Michael, please say hello to 511,613 people around the world.
I want to say good morning. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. I threw my slider wide open this morning at 6 a.m., went outside and enjoyed the morning. I'm telling you, it is a beautiful day here today.
It's a beautiful day in America and throughout the world. We have a worldwide population. I want to make a mention of something that Michael just said. And if you're watching, you see he's a very expressive being. His whole being is something that wants to come out and do things. And you'll hear some of the stuff that he's already done, written and produced and about to unleash to the world. I want to make mention of something he just said. Opened up, went outside a beautiful morning, and usually I don't date these things. This is July, the end of July. Now, yes. Normally in July in Las Vegas, one doesn't associate with lovely morning. It's 75 degrees this morning. It was spring-like. It's so beautiful. You know, sometimes it can be 100 in the morning. So it's really special. First of all, Michael, it's a delight to have you here. Michael is one of the most creative artists you'll ever have a chance of listening to. So let's just jump right in and talk about two things. One of them that just is, it's really in you and you need to express it. And that's this amazing documentary film about Las Vegas that you made, that you're about to unleash onto the world. So, Bulanti,
yes,
take it away.
We have a film coming out. It's dropping on several platforms, Apple TV, Amazon, all over the place. It's called Vinny Plays Vegas. It's about our fallen comrade. I was a comedian for 39 years. He was a strip headliner who borrowed money from everybody to fuel a gambling habit. And so it is really a documentary film about the evils of gambling, in a sense, and what he did to his friends. And in turn, losing his career. He was a mid-strip headliner at the Flamingo for 10 years, I believe. And he had his own room. He had 240 people in front of him every night. And it was all about finding a victim so he could get money to gamble.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so now that you've given us the story background, I want to mention two things. In my introduction, I talked about Las Vegas is a place that people associate with gambling and sex. And of course, it's true. However, what really happens here in Las Vegas, the gambling and the sex is a very small part of the energy that is Las Vegas, especially over the past 2 decades. You know, previously, let's say, if you take 70 years as an example, or 75 years, then yes, gambling and sex were the main attractions. And then there was a shift a real shift towards, first of all, getting families to come, but as important, just a shift towards how do we attract people that are smart, dedicated, want to grow businesses, et cetera, et cetera. So this is really a city that is dedicated to energy. However, what you've been talking about, and I want to just make a small difference in what you said. You talked about a gambling habit. Habit
Yes,
is a interesting word. It could be positive, it could be negative. Right. Gambling is not a habit. It's in his case, it was an addiction. An
correct.
addiction is something that literally takes over the being. The being has to use every possible bone and fiber of your being to fight against, and oftentimes, most often, cannot succeed. Am I correct in that?
That is absolutely correct. And I would think that Gamblers Anonymous would really be interested in endorsing this film, but I'm willing to wager that they would really.
Okay, well, you use word. I'm going to wager. Bulanti.
That's a joke, Barry.
Well, I'll mention to you something, Michael, and I think this is quite apropos. There's an article that just came out in the Wall Street Journal and other really top-notch publications, and talking about the difficulties for the human being to have what my wife calls the rectangle. Everybody else calls it a smartphone. It's hardly that. It may not. It's a communication device. However, it is now fully enabled to enable betting. So that means that people can walk around,
Yeah.
the ability to wager, as you just said, and to bet money and create, unfortunately, the process of an addiction. Now, let's talk about the film. I love it. His name was Vinny Favorito.
Correct.
Was that his real name, by the way?
I believe it is.
So, first of all, the ability to have a name, Vinny, it's almost a movie, right?
Right.
You're going to be a lead character in a movie about gaming and gambling in Las Vegas, which, let's be blunt, it certainly had a taint of the mob for many years. Less
Correct.
today. However, let's be blunt, money attracts stuff like that. Well, Vinny is the perfect name. And he was, like you just said, he was a main headliner. Now, when you're a headliner, something happens to your head. Now, I'm
Yes.
going to posit this. I'm going to ask you to respond. I'm privileged to say I published 4 books in the past year and a half. And one of my books, the first one called The Joy of Living, talks about a situation where I talk about the ability to make sure that what you hear compliments, they don't go to your head, because you allow complaints to go to your heart. And neither one of those are great. So I talk about a time when I was got a compliment. It was in high school in wrestling, and my coach told me how good I was. And I tell you, I couldn't leave the room. My head was so big.
Couldn't fit through the door.
Right. If you're a main headliner at a real big name casino hotel, by definition, I don't know how you walk through the door. And therefore, when it comes to gambling, you must believe that just as you are the main attraction at the hotel, you are a winner. Your name is not Vinny, it's Winnie. So I give that back to you, Michael. Do they fit together?
Yes, absolutely. He would, he was an insult comic. So his act was, what do you do for a living? Where are you from? What's this? What's that? And he would connect everybody by the end of the show. He would also film the show and offer it to people on the way out, a disc with that show that they just saw. And of course, they would buy it because they were in it. Now, that's a very, very good marketing idea. However, if a guy said, I own 4 companies in Texas, that's what I do, Vinny would make a mental note. And after the show, at the meet and greet, he would say, you want to play golf? let's go. I want to hang out with you. And that was his method of getting people to give him money. He would look for a victim every night. It's in the film.
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's open up words. So you said he's an insult comic. So I think that in the world of what you call insult comic, so the most famous one is
Rickles.
Say it again.
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles. Everybody should look at
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles. He is the most famous. I mean, he's all over the world. Just if you don't know him, because we have an audience, most of the people under the age of 35. By the way, everything you want to know about Michael and the film and all that sort of stuff, it's in the show notes. You don't have to write anything down. Just enjoy the process. So an insult comic has a certain knack. And as you said, Michael, it's so genius. I didn't realize it. The ability to connect people and insult just enough to make even the mark. Now remember, we call it M-A-R-K. A mark is somebody that you want to extract something from. So they even make the mark smile and be happy. And of course, everybody around the mark, he or she, is applauding and laughing. So it's even though it's an insult, it's all done in the process of good. Now, the ability to market, notice the beginning of market is the word mark. Market that disc, and you get 240 buyers, each giving you $25 or whatever. Let's just make up a number. Okay. And now you say, Target. And Vinny was so good and so smooth. I'm making this up. I don't know. That he was so smooth that nobody would refuse the ability to say, hang out with you. You want to hang out with me? I want to be with you. Is that right?
Exactly. Now, this film is about 9 people that live in Las Vegas and were hustled out of money. But there's got to be hundreds of victims that gave them money, left town, and were so embarrassed that they were taken. They never said anything to their wives. They never said anything to anybody about it. These people are all going to see this film.
By the way, this is great. This is the ultimate insult comic.
Yes.
Just to be clear, when we're talking about giving him money, we're not talking about $50, $100. We're talking about thousands of dollars, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 or more.
Yes.
Is that correct?
He was so smooth that within a period of 46 days, I handed him a total of $35,000.
Oh, wait a minute. You were one of his marks?
Oh, yeah. Not only that.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold the story. Don't go away. We have sponsors that love the show. You're going to love this commercial. And I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to hear the story of Bulanti and Vinny. Be right back after this brief message. Don't go away. This is too much fun.
Any business leader who has stood in front of potential investors can tell you, creating a vivid, compelling vision of the future can be the difference between bankruptcy and billions. If you can move people with words, you can practically will things into existence. Something that seems impossible can be made to seem inevitable. But not with bullet points, with a well-crafted and well-told story. I spent 30 years in advertising, creating stories for giant brands, universities, and governments, and changing people's hearts and minds. And over those years, I accumulated a treasure chest of insights about how to entertain and inspire and move people. And I think I can teach you. Can you think of a tool more powerful than human speech? See how your value changes when you start to master the oldest human art form.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance. We have Michael J. Bulanti. He is an extraordinarily gifted comic, filmmaker, storyteller. The ability to tell a story about Vinny Favorito. He was a great extractor of money.
Yes.
He had a
He's still
gambling
out there
addiction.
too.
He had a gambling addiction. I'm going to tell you something, everybody. I know about gambling addiction. I have to stay away from playing poker. I played poker when I was a kid, also high school, also college, and such like that. I had to stay away because it's too easy to become addicted. But Michael is dropping a film that everybody has to see, and it's in the show notes, so you can go see it when it comes out in a few weeks. The point is that Michael himself made this movie because Vinny wasn't just smooth. He didn't just put in the knife that you didn't even feel it, and remove the knife. You didn't even feel it. Didn't even know you were dying until the blood was dripping on the floor. Michael is telling us that he gave money to Vinny. Tell us, Michael, how much and over what period of time?
Well, I gave him 35 grand over 46 days for several reasons. Originally, he had a tax problem that he was talking about, and he was a friend of mine. And let me go give you a little history. We met in '98 at the San Francisco stand-up comedy competition, which is a very prestigious yearly event. And Vinny and I competed in that contest. Now, when you compete, you really get close to the people you're competing with. The first round is 20 comics. Then 5 of those comics go on to the second round. And then, so now you have 10 comedians competing from 20 groups of 20. And so Vinny and I both started. We were in the same round at first. We went to the second round together, competing, doing 10-minute sets. And we both made it to the finals of the San Francisco International Stand-Up Comedy Competition, where I came in third and Vinny won. So the point is here is that you become brothers when you go through this. You really do. By the time you get the end of it, you don't really care who's going to win because you care for each other. Generally, you care for the other comics, and it's just a weird but great ride if you make it to the finals. And I did it. And then after that, I started working for Bud Friedman at the Improv in Las Vegas. He used me as an opening act for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. I would come to Vegas maybe 3-4 times, 4 weeks a year as an MC. And in doing that, I worked with Vinny several times, maybe 3 different trips in. He was headlining and I was introducing him to the audience. And that is pretty much our history. Then I got cast in The Rat Pack is Back. I played Joey Bishop for 9 years.
Wait a minute. Okay, this is so interesting. So I want to ask you, just tilt your computer a little bit. Just tilt your computer up a little bit, Michael. There you go. But we see more of you. Okay. So I'll tell you, 88% of our audience under the age of 35, they never heard Joey Bishop. They don't know anything. However, yes, you can Google it and see. I mean, Joey Bishop was fun, funny, cool, part of the Rat Pack. It's great. So Michael was cast in the movie. I don't know, Ocean's 11 or one of those Rat Pack movies.
No, it wasn't a movie. It was a stage show called The Rat Pack is Back. We did 110 cities.
Okay, so it was a stage show and here's Michael in his younger self playing Joey Bishop and doing cool things. And now here comes Vinny. Now again, Vinny is a headliner. To be a headliner in Vegas there's nothing bigger. You know, talk about your name in lights, your name on the billboard. And a few years ago, there were fewer of these, so it was easier to stand out. And I could drop some names, but they wouldn't mean anything to an audience under 35. The point is, though, when your name is there, it's hard to walk around and not believe that, number one, you're invincible. Number two, that everything you do must come out correctly. And number three, you don't have malice towards the people you're getting money from. And you don't see them as stupid. You see them as helping you. And they love helping you. You see yourself as beautiful and wonderful. Is that fair to say?
That is absolutely correct. And that's where his head must have been at, for sure.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. During the break, I came up with an acronym for Vinny's name. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
VINNIE. Ready?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Never knowing I'm eviscerated.
Wow. You came up with that during the break?
Yes. So here's the point.
Unbelievable.
You gave him $35,000, Michael. Let's be blunt. Even today, $35,000 is real money.
Okay.
That's real money.
You know, Ed Bernstein gave him 60 grand and sued him. And you know Ed, right?
Right?
Enough said, call Ed. His neighbor across the street, a crossing guard, a retired man, $120,000.
Oh, and by the way, when Vinny was receiving the money, it was not, he was always giving, in quotation marks, a guarantee that you'll get it back.
Of course. Of course, you're going to get everything back.
Right. And more.
Yeah, and more. Normally, when you see a movie about a guy an entertainer who had it all and fell, it's because of drugs, alcohol, sex. This is, I believe, the first film about a guy that lost it all because of a gambling addiction. And this is why we feel the film is going to be very popular. We hope that everybody watches it, because that's the only way I'm going to get my 35 grand back.
But here's the beautiful thing. I mean, beautiful in a very dark way. What's happening here is that we're talking about the human condition. You see, we're on the verge of the greatest evolution in human history vis-a-vis technology, artificial intelligence. However, HI is still ruling, and that's called human intelligence. And human intelligence, for good or ill, is still mired in, like you just said, sex, drugs, alcohol, and gambling. It's been around since the beginning of time, and in my humble opinion, will continue.
Yes.
Now, God willing, people who see this film, some of the people might identify themselves and recognize and say, okay, I am ready, willing, and able to fight the monkey and get it off my back. And
exactly.
Michael,
also, I want to mention that during the process of making the film was 50% shot when they invited me to be in it. And the way that happened was Vinny filled out a bankruptcy form, and my name ended up on it. And the producer and the director of the film saw that and contacted me. Well, I had written the 12 pages that I sent you because I thought, man, maybe I can get some of my money back. This is a very interesting story, this 12 pages. Maybe Playboy magazine or somebody would buy it from me and I could get some of my money back. Well, right around that time, I was contacted by Brian Burkhart, the director of the film, and I emailed the 12 pages to him and to Mike Weatherford, who is a co-producer of the film. And Weatherford called me up the next morning and said, Mickey, this is a freight train, is what he called it. And so at that point, I was invited to be in the film and tell my story. And those guys flew up to San Carlos, California, where I was taking care of my parents. And they filmed me right in my mother's guest room. And it was a great moment. And then as time went on, we were looking at edits of the film and it was getting better and better. And one of our editors put in some stock music. And we were like, wow, with music, it's really making a difference. But of course, you can't produce a film like this and use stock music. So I offered Brian that I would like to create the musical score for this film, which I did with Jimmy Goins. And we recorded, we brought in maybe a dozen musicians, one at a time, and recorded in Hayward, California at GFI Studios. Okay. So this is another door, Barry, has totally opened for MJ Bulanti.
This is so fabulous. So let me ask the obvious question.
Yes.
Is Vinny still with us in the world?
Not only is he with us in the world, but I'm hearing that Vinny will be at our world premiere in Beverly Hills. And we're going to have question and answer after. And it's going to be something that you will never forget if you're there. I mean, he's going to be on stage with me and Brian and all these people.
And by the way, I'm saying this not in an accusatory way, in a questioning way. Vinny doesn't have animus about what he did. He's not, and he's regretful. He would like to have pay everybody back, because in his mind, he's still rolling the dice or playing the cards or whatever, and he's going to hit the jackpot and pay everybody back. In other words, it's not malice or forethought. It's just, hey, that's the way it goes. I was unlucky.
Right.
I'm really the lucky guy. I am Vinny. I can win anytime. That's the mentality, right?
Yes. And the last conversation I had with him was over the phone when he needed my address, my parents' address, for the bankruptcy papers for me to sign. And he told me, sign these papers, but this really doesn't include what you gave me. I'm still going to pay you back.
Right. I love it. That is the mentality. That's the way. By the way, how old is Vinny chronologically?
I think he's about my age. He's got to be 65, 66. I'm 68. I think he was a little bit younger than me at the comedy competition.
Still performing?
Yes, he is. He's here at the some place downtown, a B or C room. I can't remember the name of it. He flies out from Boston every 2 weeks and does 2 shows, I believe.
Okay.
I wish I could remember the name, but it's downtown. It's off of Fremont Street.
Okay,
Notoriety is called.
So here's where it's cool. Boston and Vinny go together perfectly. Well, Vinny's Italian from the north end of Boston.
Right.
Okay. This is just so interesting, Michael. People are loving this, and we're going to get a lot of great response. I'm a little bit loath to say these words. We're coming to a close in our time together. I have 3 quick questions for you. You ready?
Yes.
Number 1, will you come back again?
Absolutely, Barry. Anytime. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I'd really like to meet you face to face, and maybe we can get a lunch sometime, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Number 2, Mickey Bulanti. You have 80 seconds to answer this. What is your most fervent desire?
My most fervent desire in life?
Yes.
I'm working on his career as a painter right now, and that would be something that I would like to do. I designed this. I painted this. It's a flamingo with his head in the sand, and we're using it. Brian wants to use this on the container for the film when it goes out. So I'm going to write Vinny Plays Vegas here, but you can see the strip, and then I have the Suicide King right here, the King of Hearts.
If you're watching, you can see it, and if you're only listening, you should tune in and watch it. That's why we record this, so you can watch it anytime. And number 3, Michael Bulanti. May I give you a hug in front of 517,922 people around the world?
That depends on whether or not you're wearing pants.
Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited, giving. 1, 2, 3.
I love you, Barry. Thank you, man.
And of course,
you're doing a lot for me, a lot for the film, and this is what it takes to get everybody to watch it. And I so appreciate your time.
So we have a blessing from Michael and Barry for everybody that's watching here. You remember, this is I in Las Vegas. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad, go make a difference, Mike. Mickey, don't go away.